Have you ever been in the middle of a Dead by Daylight trial, running in circles around a pallet, and you think to yourself, you know what? I reckon if I was in this game, I could probably beat this killer's ass. Well, that is what today's video is all about. Killers in Dead by Daylight who I could beat in a fight. And I reckon there's actually a fair few of them who I could take. No lie, no cap, I reckon I could do it, alright? So we're going to go through all of the killers. I'm going to put them on a tier list based on if I think I could take them, basically. And if you enjoyed this video today, which I hope you do, please do leave a like to let me know and subscribe to help me reach my goal of 5,000 by the end of 2022. Also, let me know down in the comments if you agree with my decisions, if there are any killers you think you could particularly take, or if there are any killers that you think would absolutely destroy you instead. So let's get into it. So before we start on the actual killers, I want to run through the tier list which I'm going to be using. So S tier is going to be known as they get KO'd. A tier is going to be I win, but they have a chance. B tier is going to be, you know, this is a fair fight. It could go either way. C tier is they win, but I have a chance. And D tier is I get my ass kicked and get KO'd. I'm hoping that not many people are going to be in that last tier, but we'll see what happens. Let's go. So let's start out with the Trapper. Now, I put the Trapper firmly in. They win, but I have a chance. Because let's be honest, the Trapper can take pain like it's nothing. The entity has been torturing him for years. He has metal shards sticking out of him. But past that, he is just a dude with some bear traps and a machete. I didn't think about the machete, actually. Maybe that changes things a bit. The Wraith. Now, the Wraith is invisible. That kind of puts, you know, a bit more of an advantage on his side. But I don't think he has the fire. You know, like if you look at his lore, he's a little bitch boy. I don't think he could. I think I have more of an attack in me. So I think that puts us in B tier. I reckon that'd be a fair fight because once he's uninvisible, was I really about to? Once he's visible, he's just a dude with a thing. You know. So I reckon Wraith would be a very interesting fight. I reckon it could go either way. The Hillbilly. Now, the Hillbilly I've put in C tier because he's quite quick and he has 2 weapons. And if he hits me with the chainsaw, I'm kind of screwed. But it's the chainsaw that I actually think gives me a chance because while he's revving, he's got his arms up in the air. He's leaving all of his vulnerable areas open. One quick little fucking jab with a knife and I reckon I could take him down. The Nurse goes straight into they would kick my ass. Bitch can teleport. Michael Myers also goes into they KO me. I mean, if we've learned anything from the films, Myers is an unstoppable, unrelenting machine. And I'm not going to kid myself into thinking that I could take him down because if Laurie can't do it, what the fuck hope do I have? The Hag. The Hag was an interesting one because she's quite animalistic. And I think that goes in her favor. Like her Mori, she's very quick. She's very bitey. I reckon she's basically like fighting a zombie, but a bit smarter. So I reckon she's in C tier. I reckon I could have a chance, you know. She's quite small. I'm definitely bigger than her. Maybe that plays into my advantage, but she'd probably just chew on my leg or somewhere else that I don't want to think about. Le Doctor. Now, Doctor's ability is based around electricity, and I'm going to let you in on a little known secret. Us gingers, we don't feel electrical pain as much as everybody else. And I think that gives me an edge. So he's trying to shock me, but I don't feel it as much as anybody else. So I'm recovering quicker. He doesn't know what hits him. And, you know, he's got his eyes just pinned open as well. That leaves him vulnerable. I just fucking jab him in the eye. It's the same as Hillbilly. It's done and done. B tier. The Huntress. Now, I think a lot of people would think that Huntress could probably kick my ass, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I think I win a fight against the Huntress. And here's how. I would just bring a little girl with me. I would send off the little girl to the right or to the left. Huntress gets distracted. She drops her axe. She tries to pick up the little girl and give her a hug. I take the axe of the Huntress and just fucking... Big brain. Another killer who I think I could take is the Bobber. Now, Bobber, you know, seems very scary. He's got the chainsaw and he's pretty unrelenting, but he's also very stupid. I reckon if I could set a trap for him, no offense to him, but I could kick his ass. Freddy. Now, when I was thinking about Freddy, I remembered in the first film, the first Nightmare on Elm Street film, how did that film end? Nancy literally turned her back on him and said, "You're not real. I take your power away." And Freddy disappeared. So I just turn my back and say, "You're not real," and he's gone and I win the fight. I don't necessarily KO him, but I don't lose the fight. I reckon I kick Freddy's ass. And even if we don't look at that aspect of him, he is still just a dude with claw hands. I mean, if you avoid the claw hands, you're pretty set. He's quite skinny. Another killer who I reckon I could kick their ass with ease is the Pig. Now, the Pig bases her whole element, both in the films and in the game, on the element of surprise. That's her whole power. You take away that element of surprise, put us in a fair fight one-on-one, fuck, she's just a skinny woman wearing a weird pig mask who thinks she's in Assassin's Creed. No contest. I kick her ass any day of the week. The Clown. The Clown was an interesting one. I reckon he's quite slow, quite lumbersome. I don't think he's very agile or quick. And I reckon that gives me the edge. I would put Clown in A tier. I reckon I win, but there is something about him that feels a bit dangerous. You know, he carries a knife. That can be quite difficult to get in close hand-to-hand combat. But maybe if I pull out a weapon that's long range, he's kind of screwed. The Spirit goes straight in. They could KO me. Bitch can teleport. The Legion. Now, the Legion, I know without a doubt, would get fucking destroyed by me. All right, let's be honest. All the Legion are a bunch of angsty teens. I grew up in Birmingham. You can find those on every street corner. They're not really a threat to me. So Legion gets straight in the KO tier. The Plague, my vommy mummy, one of my favorite killers and an interesting one. Now, on her side, she has her vomit and she has her lantern, which she can swing and hit me with. But on my side, I match her height. I know to block the vomit, so maybe I bring in a shield. And as long as she doesn't have the corrupt red vomit, she can't really hurt me with it, just make me a bit sick. I reckon her body's a little bit weak as well. It's been ravished by plague for thousands of years. And I reckon this is a fair fight. I don't know which way this could go. The Ghosty Boy. Now, the Ghosty Boy is a difficult one because obviously the game, he's not really based off the Ghosty in the movies, but I took a little bit of both of them into account and I put him firmly in S tier. I reckon I could kick Ghosty's ass. He is, after all, just a dude in a mask. And if we look at the films, he's a fucking idiot. Every ghost face killer in the films just falls about the place and trips over everything. And every victim just runs away from him. No, if you turn and just kick him in his head, boom, he's done. No contest. He gets his ass kicked. The Demogorgon. Now, the Demogorgon depends on what season of Stranger Things we're talking about here. In season 4, he's a beast. The Demogorgon is fierce as hell. Like, he's fast, he's agile, he would kick my ass, let's be honest. But in season 1, Steve goes in hand-to-hand combat with him and beats him without even really trying. He just ducks a couple of times and hits him with a nail bat and voila, sets him on fire. That's another thing as well. If I know to bring like a flamethrower, I reckon I could probably beat Demo. I'm putting Demo in fair fight. I don't know which version of Demo I'm going to get before going in, so I reckon that would largely influence the outcome, but I reckon I could take him. The Oni. The Oni is huge. He has a sword. He has a big bat. He can turn into the Hulk. I get fucked up. Let's just move on. The Death Slinger. He was an interesting one. Now, I would wager that Slinger isn't very good in hand-to-hand combat. His weapon is very ranged, but that kind of plays in his favor because I wouldn't really be able to get in hand-to-hand, would I? He's got like a big fucking sword on the end of his gun and everything. I put him in C tier. I reckon he wins, but maybe if I can figure out a smart tactic to get in and, you know, get close enough where his gun isn't a problem, maybe I could take the win. The Pyramid Head. Have you seen the Silent Hill movie? He literally tears somebody in half with his bare hands. I ain't winning this fight. This goes firmly and I get my ass kicked. I would hope I got KO'd, but I'd probably just get killed. The Blight. I know everybody who watches my stream is very interested in this one, considering you all like to call me a fucking Blight main. I don't know what it is about the Blight. I feel like I could take him. I'm putting him in A tier. I reckon I win. I think he has a chance because I think he's a bit unpredictable in aspects, but something about him, I just reckon I could kick his ass. I think my hate towards him would build up and I just want to hurt him, to be fair. That would probably help. The Twins. The Twins are an unfair fight. Let's just put it that way. There's 2 of them. That's not fair. And I do honestly reckon that I would probably throw the entire fight for the chance to kick Victor in his head, because I think that would be even more satisfying in real life. Read into that what you will. So I'm putting the Twins firmly in B tier. I reckon if I keep my focus, I could probably beat them, but I would probably throw it by trying to kick Victor. The Trickster. Now, honestly, the Trickster is kind of what spawned this whole idea, because I saw so many people when he first came out saying they could beat him in a fight. I'm going to put him firmly in C tier. I reckon he wins. Let's look at the fact. He's awesome with long range projectiles. His aim is insane. And then even if you can get close to him, he wears fucking knuckle dusters and has a spiky bat. You know, I'm a lot bigger than him, so maybe I could play that to my advantage, but overall, I reckon he wins. And to anybody else who thinks they could beat him, you probably can't. All right, so calm down. Nemesis. I mean, it's firmly an I get KO'd. If Jill can't beat the Nemesis, what fucking hope do I have? The Cenobite. Any punch I landed on the Cenobite, he would just relish. He would love it. He wants the pain. All right, I don't think I could ever beat him into submission because he'd get energy from it. He'd get love, he'd get happiness, he'd get something else from it, which we're not going to mention. But I think that the Cenobite is firmly in. He would kick my ass territory. He can also summon chains, which is just OP and not fair. I think, you know, I'd probably just end up in hell or wherever the fuck he takes people before I've even managed to swing a punch. The Artist. Now, the Artist, again, like the twins, is not a fair fight. She can summon birds. Maybe if I brought a Scarecrow. Maybe if I brought a Scarecrow and I distracted the birds, I would have a chance of hitting her. But I reckon she wins. Overall, you know, she kind of has this superpower, which I don't have a superpower, so I'm kind of at a disadvantage there. The Undio. Now, the Undio, while she is a small, frail little girl, can also just look at me and I die. I can't really counter that. You know, that's kind of a one and done move. So I reckon I get KO'd by a little girl. And ending it with the Dredge. The Dredge was an interesting one. Brand new killer, probably one of the scariest killers in the game. And yet, I think I might be okay in a fight against him. I put him firmly in B tier. I reckon it's a fair fight. He kind of like is lumbersome in how he walks. And yeah, he can get the drop on me maybe in a locker or a closet or, you know, enclosed space like that. But I reckon if I stay away from that and just stay in the open and see him come in, if I could get a way to chop off his head, I reckon I can kick his ass here. You know, I'm putting this in a fair fight. It could go either way. So there you have it, the full tier list. Honestly, I don't think I would do that bad. I think I could take 50% of the killers, and I'm taking that as a win. But what's more important is that I could definitely take you. You watching this. I could kick your ass. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye for now. So let me break it all down for you. I ain't never giving up. I ain't never taking that crown from you.